Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. It is Thursday, it's almost the end of the week, and it's been an exciting week. Some volatility picked up, the USA Cup, the World Cup, which in the USA advanced, even though they lost. Very exciting, and just a lot going on. Today was definitely tricky. I have to say that actually this week was kind of tricky because, Tuesday you had the outside day. And whenever you have an outside day, I talk about it all the time. I call it a day to take notice. I call it a red dog reversal. Sometimes a red dog reversal leads into an outside day. And then you have one signal to loosen up or to sell some stocks. And then once you take out the prior low, besides the high, you take out, you tighten up a little bit again. And then yesterday, open lower and grind it all day, to then just get it whipsawed in the first 10 minutes. And that's never easy. So instead of listening to me talk, let's just look at some of the action here. Because you look at the overall, S&P, and you'll see a nice breakout. Remember, we talked about this here. Wasn't this a beautiful time after holding this intermediate uptrend when everyone in the world was bearish? We broke out to the upside. From there, really quick move, little bit of a consolidation here before coming in and holding above the 21-day. Then we broke higher again, and then this was this was definitely something that caused a little bit of, not say panic, because I don't think anyone in our community panicked, but all over the media, everyone was talking about a 10%, 15% correction, all because of this one day. But if you look at it, it definitely was a little harsh. If we broke above on the housing number, if I do remember, I was actually in Texas when it took place, squeezed above 1963, went to 1968, then rolled over later in the afternoon. You could have sold 1963 or 1958, whatever the hell that is. I'm sorry, I can't really see it. And then boom, closed in the lows. So if you got flexible, if you sold some stock after a really nice move because we closed below the 8-day, I don't disagree with you. That is what you should have done. But then the next day, we opened below, the prior low, and then engulfed most of the day. So this day looks like just another day in the life of trading, but if you were trading all day long, like me, well, partially a day, because we did take a little break and go watch the World Cup, the first 10 minutes, they literally took out the entire prior session. So if anyone who was walking up shorts yesterday, because there was a lot of people that came in with short on the brain, rightly so, I don't hold it against you. We had a RDR outside day, made some sense to test out some shorts. Some people probably rolled it up all day and puked it out at the end of the day, and then today in the first 10 minutes probably were pissed. Same way anybody who finally switched gears, got long, got stopped out in the first 10 minutes today. These boxes are just pushing the envelope both ways. I got to show you this. Look at the chart, okay? Look at the 5-minute chart of what took place today. How gross is this? Okay, it's just gross. Look what took all day long, squeezed every short. If you cost average your spiders up all day yesterday, thinking that the outside day on Tuesday meant something, you probably covered into the close, and then or even switched. I would say most people probably would have, if you were me, you would have probably covered right around here. Okay, because this was your first move, pulled in. When it took out this first hour plus high, I would have covered if I was trying to be short, and then been like, okay, great job, I'm out of the way. Maybe even got in some longs right in here as things started to engulf topping tails, etc. And then, pow! And not only did they take away the whole day, they actually pushed it below the prior low. So they stopped out every long that was using 1947, right? Well, that was it, 1947 as a stop. And then from there, what took place? Oh, another grinder. Back to pretty much where we left off. So what does that mean? It just means that you have a very thin summer trading environment where you have the end of the quarter, you have volatility, you have Iraq, you have Syria, you have just things going on everywhere, still things going on in the Ukraine, whatever. And there's a lot of marking up and divergences, so just keep it light. Don't knock your head against the wall. If you're having a great first half of the year, congratulations. High five to whoever that is. Okay, for me, I'm at the highs of my year, okay, but I am not where I was last year, but I'm okay with it because that first, or that whole side swipe that we had in February, March was tough. I got out of the way, didn't really make money short, didn't get into a hole, didn't fight it, but I was in a decent frame of mind to work my way back, make some money, and be in a good frame of mind for the second half of this year. If you caught the short, caught the long, and you're perfect, congratulations. I doubt a lot of you are that. Then don't get ahead of yourself and make sure that you do a lot of the same, the next half of this year. If you missed some signals and you stayed in too long from the long side and then chased the short to the downside and spun your wheels around and then revenge traded and you're having a bad first half of the year, take this weekend to relax and just know you have another half to go and reevaluate what you're doing. So I'm babbling a little bit, but we'll get back to the charts here. So anyway, this week's been tough. You had to really be quick on your feet, and hopefully you're on the VTF because you will have seen us put on trades, take trades off, and maneuver this action with some quick feet, just like the USA. Go back to the chart, Andrew. So you go back to this chart. Here we are. I guess we have a little bit of a floor, 1944, 1947. Hard to get really bearish unless we break below that. But I would do a little less as we're getting a little wishy-washy in here. Go to the Qs real quick. Still hovering above this support. Okay, we came in real quickly, came back to the highs. Still above the 8-day, not even near the 21-day for all you crash callers. IWM, what'd you do today? Closed near the highs and held above yesterday's low. So really the spiders is one of the only ETFs or sectors that made a new low, because this didn't, the Qs didn't. Let's see what the financials did. Financials made a new low because that's been, I guess, a weaker sector. I'm kind of trying to stay away from that. But all right, let's move on to what else is moving. So today in the morning call, I talked about how I wouldn't chase Google. Some of you faded it. Some of you sold strength. I didn't even touch it. All in all, I guess that was somewhat of a right call. Lots of nice trades within this. Okay. This is when it broke the descending channel. This is when it traded above this prior resistance. This is when it broke above here. Yada yada yada. Opened up, went down $4 or $5. Cute trade here. Still above the 8-day. Still needs some time. I don't see anything too compelling. As far as Baidu, what'd you do today? Inside day. Still looks good. Amazon getting weaker. Amazon is definitely more in the bear camp than the bull camp. Oh, look at that. It did hold this support. So I guess as long as it stays above 320, it's hanging on by a thread. If it were to get above this inside range here, maybe it pops up back to here. But all in all, the B- to C+ trade at best. Okay, this is when it triggered, and since then it's been a choppy mess. Apple did a little something today. Finally, a green day. Apple, we were talking on the side. It was kind of funny. This changed around my year. Not just because I was just in Apple, but on this gap up, I remember it was right around my 10-year anniversary. It was in Crystal Springs. Took a lot home long here. Gave you a big gap to trade against. Had some strength. Went sideways. Gave you another nice trade right here. Another nice trade right here. PS, post-split. This is when this accelerated trend broke to the downside. Haven't really been very active in it since. And then this morning I talked about perhaps this descending channel here. When the S&P made new lows, did Apple make new lows? Or not new lows, or just below a prior day low? No, it did not. And then it closed actually pretty well. So I am long Apple. I am long more Apple today than I've had in a while. Still kind of anticipating. Still hasn't broke above this yet, but who knows? Maybe the end of the quarter, they try and push it up a little bit. It's been very weak, but it was stronger for the majority of this quarter, so could get some flows. We'll see what happens here on Apple. But all in all, yeah, it looks better today than it did a few days ago. And it didn't actually sell off at the end of the day, which is something that has happened in Apple. So we'll see what that leads to. As far as people were asking about Facebook. What about Facebook? Facebook tends to go up one day and then get some people out, then go up the next day. So if you're still in it, I still think you're okay. It's still well above this breakout area. Yes, it came in a little bit, didn't have enough momentum to stick today. That's why you always want to, but look where it came from. This was your small red dog reversal right here. Here is where you had a nice move back to resistance. Here was your breakout failure on that Tuesday. Some nice follow through yesterday, and today they sold it a little bit. I'd say, as long as it stays above here, I wouldn't get too worried about it. I actually wouldn't even get too worried about it unless it broke below here. This stock likes to just, push people around. But all in all, the chart has been really good. We've been trading this for the majority of this year. And if you look at the macro pattern here and try and get rid of some of the noise, because there is a lot of noise in this overall market, here is your uptrend. Looked like it was going to break right here and didn't, then resolve back to the upside, and slowly but surely still looks good. Twitter, Rockstar. Rockstar, if you started trading it above when we listed it here, okay, which was right around 35, and then this morning we talked about it in the morning call, getting above 39.50, and it was very, very strong today. Still looks good, still looks like it can continue. Maybe it's the World Cup, who knows. Still, if you look where it was, last year when it had its real big run, here and then here, okay, it's still just retracing back. Entries and exits do matter. If you didn't hold it here for the earnings and you got it, or you had it long and got rid of it when it broke this wedge to the downside, this is your trash for treasures trade. Remember this wide range bar that held by a thread? That was one of your invitations to get back long it. So anyway, moving up. That's 2 days in a row, so I would be a little bit lighter, but it looks pretty good. What did Yelp do today? Still hanging above the 8-day, not much to say there. LinkedIn is still the stepchild. Still hanging around, just very whippy and hard to trust, but above the 21-day. At some point, maybe it plays catch up in order for that to happen. It's got to get above 170. ISRG, pretty interesting. Reclaimed the 200-day, had a really big move right here. Nice bull flag, played catch up. Today was stronger in a weak tape, so maybe that continues to go. What else? Sperling's play of the week, Triple D, still looks okay. SSYS, what are you doing? Still flagging, looking like it can go higher. FSLR, solar still hanging around, inching up, not a lot of momentum, but okay. What did SPWR do? What you doing, buddy? Closed off the highs, but still acting well. Not really much momentum there, too. This was your spot. I believe we did post this chart the day or so that it broke out above 35, and now let the 8-day catch up, and it's trying to go again. Needs a lot of the market to help out for that to take place. What did the metals do today? Silver held where it had to. Remember I talked about this area for 1995. It didn't even get there, and now it looks okay if you're still in silver. GLDs also mapped out support 1, and which it did hold. Traded below it briefly and then came back above it with a bit of a flag type pattern. Still looks pretty good. Look at this little trend line here. A little bit more time, maybe it goes again. It's holding above prior resistance, okay, which is now becoming support, and it's well above the gap, so it's still in the game if you're in gold land. And that's about it. A lot of people want to probably go watch the World Cup, rightly so. Good to see soccer making a move all across the board. Those, I tweeted today, it was a funny tweet. I'm like, soccer players are tough, and then everyone got on my grill. Well, what about hockey players? They lose all their teeth. What about football players? They get concussions. I was like, oh, all right. I'm just saying that they're in great shape. They get kicked out. They get tripped. They have no padding, no helmets, and it's just good to see that. Dempsey, broken nose, and still moving on. I'd like to come up with a T-shirt called Dempsey Tough, because he's definitely tough. I like the guy with the dreads too. Chase, my son, pre-tournament picked the Netherlands, and they're 3-0. They're doing okay. I think they play Sunday. But anyway, it's just a lot of fun. Just enjoy yourself. It's a summer. We're coming into the last week of June, July 4th weekend, which tends to be an awesome weekend. Fireworks are great. Just don't light them yourself and blow off a finger, because that wouldn't be fun. That kind of could ruin some things for you. Better off watching it on TV. And just take a deep breath. Half the year's almost over. A whole nother half a year to go. You could build on your success. You could work on, if you're not doing the way you want to do, but you're not going to be able to do any of that if you're knocking your head against the wall and you're frustrated and you're not taking accountability for what's going on with your keyboard, because you are in control of your keyboard, nobody else. You could blame the Fed, you could blame the guy to your left, you could blame the dog, you could blame whoever it is, but until you take accountability and say, I push the keys myself, I'm not doing what I think I should be doing, or I'm not where I want to be, you're not going to get where you probably can go. So take accountability. Tomorrow's Friday. We have the relaxed morning call. I will be trading in Short Hills on the VTF. Hopefully I break my streak, because Fridays don't tend to be a good day for me going into the weekend. We'll see what happens. Have a good night.